warriors. I hope everybody is doing good. I hope everybody's day is going well. Let's get into the topic. Your conditioning does not have to be your conditions. When I say that, I mean that everybody comes from a background. We've all been conditioned in some way to see emotions, to see relationships, how to present ourselves into the world. But although we've been conditioned, that doesn't have to be how we conduct ourselves. It doesn't have to be our conditions. We don't have to show up in the world the way we've been taught to be. Meaning a lot of us come from backgrounds that are toxic, that are traumatic, that have taught us to normalize bad behavior instead of walking away from it. We have been conditioned to take bare minimum, to take people disappointing us, to take people betraying us, to take people just all outright treating us disrespectfully. We have been conditioned to take these things. And although we may feel that some of these the way we're being treated or how people come into our lives are not right, we continue to invite them in our lives and make people feel comfortable with treating us in disrespectful manners. And it's because we have been conditioned to take these type of conditions. And I'm here to say that you don't have to sit in what you're used to. It was something that I've had to learn for myself. I don't have to sit in what I'm used to. I was used to people treating me so poorly that I almost invited people in my life to treat me poorly. It was like people seeing that I didn't have the self-worth and the self-love for myself. So it was almost like I became a personal punching bag for people. A bit of an experiment. How much can I get away with this person? You don't have to take the bare minimum to be accepted. And I know some people out there have been accepting the bare minimum for so long in their lives that it has become a norm. And although you may say, I'm worth more, I deserve more, you continue to accept it. And sometimes at the end of the day, I would ask myself, I know I'm worth so much more. I know I love myself, but why am I taking such bad treatment from people? And it's because I had been conditioned. And it starts from your childhood, from your family. You come from a background where people treated you like you didn't matter. They treated you unfairly. They treated you like your voice was unimportant. They didn't put support in you. They didn't put love into you. They didn't put encouragement into you. So now you are an adult out in the world and you're accepting the same behavior from relationships. You're accepting people coming in your life and disappointing you. You're accepting people coming into your life and betraying you. You're accepting people coming into your life and treating you in manners that you know you don't deserve. I see a lot of people who've come from toxic backgrounds who have now married into or in relationship with toxic partners. And it's because that is safe for them. That's what's normal. I had to realize that for myself too. I gravitated towards people who treated me poorly because, to be honest, it was familiar. It was psychologically what I was used to. I was used to having to prove myself, having to prove my love, having to go the extra mile, having people treat me unfairly. So I gravitated towards people who treated me that way. And I would end up begging for love, begging for attention, just the way I did as a kid. And a lot of you are in the same predicament where you are a kid again in these relationships, begging for love, begging for intimacy, begging for emotional support, begging for a partner, begging. And this is because you have been conditioned to take bad behavior. And I'm here to say, you don't have to take those type of conditions. Yes, you have been conditioned to take poor behavior. Yes, you have been conditioned to lash out at people. Yes, you may have been conditioned to think the less of yourself. Yes, you might have been conditioned to get violent when you feel overly emotional. But those doesn't have to be your conditions. You can be better. I had to teach myself how to create my own conditions, how to show up in my life as my own person and not what has been thrown onto me so much that it had became a habit. I had to teach myself healthier traits. First, I had to heal. A lot of us are walking around unhealed. I was so unhealed that I was accepting the same type of people and cycles in my life and repeating them. Until finally something clicked. Sadie, you're around the same type of people who cause the trauma to you. Why are you allowing people in your life that are similar to your trauma? Why are you allowing people in your life who treated you the same way that people who traumatized you did? You have to ask yourself these questions. When I start asking myself why, is when I got to the bottom of me realizing I had been conditioned to take bad behavior from people. Ask yourself, why do you stay around people who disrespect you? You need to ask yourself, why do you stay with someone you have to beg for attention and love? You have to ask yourself, why do you stay in communication with families or friends or people that you've known for years who never show up for you? You need to ask yourself why. Because if you never ask yourself why, you're going to convince yourself to stay in situations because this is just the way it is. Your conditioning doesn't have to be your conditions. Just because it's been a long chronic thing that's going on doesn't make it right. It doesn't make it fair. Who are you going to be? How much do you love yourself? How long are you going to take not being loved properly, or allowing people in your life who drain you, or allow people in your life who have succubus, incubus energies, who are always causing chaos? If you're around people that you always manage to feel like you have to protect yourself, then those are not your people. I had to realize that if I'm around people I feel I have to protect myself from, why am I around them? If I'm around people I feel I can't tell my good news about to, then why am I around them? If you can't tell your good news to them because they might spoil it with their negativity, these people aren't for you. If you have to protect yourself from the people that you're around, these people aren't for you. Stop living in conditionings. We have been conditioned to stay around people because that's the way the world works. I've been knowing them since I was a kid. Oh, this is my family. Oh, this is my partner. I'm supposed to stick it out through the very end. But if this person is showing you a consistent pattern that you have to protect yourself from them because they've been hurtful, because they've shown betrayal in your relationship, because they have no integrity in your relationship, why are you sticking and attaching yourself to someone who cares so less about your feelings? The biggest mistake I ever had in my life, or did in my life, is caring more about other people's feelings than myself. Putting other people before myself to the point that it drained me so that I no longer had an identity outside of these people. How long are you not going to choose yourself? Your conditioning does not have to be your conditions. Loving yourself is more than accepting bad patterns and toxic behavior. So, warriors, your conditioning does not have to be your conditions. You do not have to take people treating you like the lesser. You do not have to take people betraying you. You do not have to take people disappointing you. You do not have to take people forgetting that you matter. Stop begging for people to show up for you. You don't have to stay attached to anything that doesn't make you feel worthy. Love yourself. Self-love teaches self-worth. So love yourself, warriors. Until next time.